there's so many things I could talk about, and I rarely do on Facebook. I'm usually just playing music. So you don't really know who I am. Yeah, so maybe I'll tell you a bit about myself. Um, my name's Chris Anthony Ball, and I grew up in Sandringham in the 90s. I was a primary schooler in the 90s. Went to Sandy Primary and then Darinya Primary in Frankston. And then I went to Mount Eliza High. And yeah, I can sort of sum up my school life pretty quickly. It was kind of, yeah, school wasn't my favorite thing. Um, I discovered guitar when I was 14 and singing when I was 10 and playing keyboard when I was probably 8. And I've sort of been in and out of being serious with all three of those instruments at different times, and they're they're all a big part of my life, and sort of like a bit of a dance between the three of them at times: guitar, vocals, and piano. Um, I've reconnected to piano more in the last couple of years. This is my piano at home. Um, yeah, it's German made, and it was built in 1927, and it's got a nice tone, so it makes me want to play it a bit more often than the digital pianos. So that's piano. And then over here, that's my guitar that you see in a few videos that I put up, which is a Washburn guitar. And I got that about 13, 14 years ago, and it's got better with age, like kind of like a fine wine. So it's got a nice mellow, warm kind of sound with a good bottom end, good bass response, which I like. Yeah, I sort of like a warm sort of sound most of the time. Yeah, so I play that one a fair bit. And I've got a few electric guitars too. One of my favorites is a 1978 Fender Stratocaster. So that one's yeah, my pride and joy, and I've played that at a few gigs, particularly last year when we were actually gigging. So this year, yeah, this year has been a very interesting year, challenging at times. Been a lot to learn. Just sort of, I guess the words introspection comes into my mind, and reflection, and deepening my connection to myself and other people through the process of us slowing down and the process of us becoming available for things other than the work and the routines that we're used to. So that hasn't been a bad thing. That's been a good thing, actually. But what has been challenging is work as a musician. You know, I do consider myself a very creative person, but there's only so much energy I have to sit down and practice my instruments and sit down and create music and to sing and, you know, all those things. There's only so much energy I have to do that, particularly when I'm doing it in an isolated environment a lot of the time. So that's been a learning curve. And the ironic thing is, I probably in the last 6 to 12 months, you know, I really felt like I came a long way as a performer on stage, and just having more confidence to go out and perform music to a live audience. And I decided to make the shift to do that full time in October last year. Before that, I was a guitar teacher for 7 years, and before that, I was a mechanical engineer or mechatronics engineer. I just say mechanical because most people are like, "What's mechatronics?" And I can't be bothered explaining it in this particular video blog because the engineering world seems light years away from me these days. Whereas I'd happily talk about music for a bit longer. Um, so yeah, where was I with the music thing? Yeah, so I was on a bit of a roll as a performer. Probably more than, yeah, I would confidently say more than I ever have been in my life. And then COVID happened, and I went from sort of 5 gigs a week to 0 gigs a week. I am very grateful that the government is doing a big part in looking after me at the moment. So I'm very grateful for the government. Yeah, they're not perfect, just like you or me, but they're definitely trying in a lot of ways. And I'm not going to make this a big political kind of conversation because that's not really my intention. But I do have the government to thank for helping me stay afloat through this time. Um, so big thanks. Um, and when it's when the gigs are happening again and people are feeling like going out, including myself, I will look forward to seeing where I'm going to be at. It's kind of going to be interesting because I think one of my strengths and my challenges with gigging has been kind of the fact that I need to have some evolution through it. I can't just show up and do the same thing all the time. So I'm always sort of honing my craft, and I'm always wanting to bring more of myself into it and bring more of my creativity and kind of let that evolve in the way it wants to. And now that we've had this downtime away from gigs, it's going to be interesting what is going to be sort of speaking to me the most loudly in terms of what I want to perform on stage. So yeah, we will see when that time comes. But at the moment, I'm really enjoying a bit of blues guitar at the moment, and a bit of blues on the keyboard too, the piano. I've been doing a bit of crooner singing, and a couple of other songs. I put one on Facebook today, which is Feelings. It's called actually by Morris Albert, and I think it's got a beautiful melody and chord progression, and I really had that melody stuck in my head, so it's always a sign that I should probably express it in some way when it starts to sort of play in my head. So it's one of my litmus tests for knowing where my direction should go. Yeah, with my music. Yeah, well, that's a bit of a vlog for you. I'm still getting used to saying that word. Video blog. Just I'm trying to I'm still trying to beat down the resistance that I have to common lingo, and just jump on the bandwagon. Yeah, so it's good to share a bit about my musical journey and my journey growing up. And yeah, as I said, growing up, I feel like it's taken me a long time to actually really come into my authentic self, and that's been a wonderful thing. It's also been a journey, and I feel like I'll be able to share more about that, you know, through these vlogs. And but yeah, I am grateful to have come this far and to be where I am at the moment. Even though tonight it's been a bit quiet actually for my liking. Had quite a social weekend. Well, I guess as social as it can get during lockdown. Like I've had a few good connections on the phone and conversations, but I'm a bit of a night owl, so it gets to 11 or 12 o'clock, and I'm like, where is everyone? Everyone's in bed, and I'm still awake. So it's been a good time to jump on the phone and do a vlog and just share whatever comes up, you know. which always makes me feel a bit nervous, but it's worth it. It's worth it, right? Tell me it's worth it. Give me some feedback on this vlog and tell me what's going on with your lockdown life. I would really like to know, because yeah, I know I like letting you know how mine is going. So so feel free to share in the comments below, and I look forward to connecting with you. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.